He barely noticed her at first. An elderly woman standing near the corner of the street, confused and looking around, like she'd taken a wrong turn not just on the road, but in life. He could have walked past her, so many others already had. But something made him pause. Maybe it was the way she clutched a piece of crumpled paper in her hand, or how her lips moved slightly, as if whispering questions to a world that wasn't listening. So he stopped. "Are you all right, ma'am?" he asked gently. She hesitated, looked up at him with eyes that held too many years. Then she showed him the paper, a street name scribbled in shaky handwriting. His mind raced as he realized she was far from where she needed to be. "It's just a few blocks away," he said, trying to instill confidence in her. She took a deep breath, feeling reassured by his kindness and prepared to follow his lead. Together they moved forward, bridging the gap between generations, each step echoing a story of compassion. As they walked, he shared anecdotes that made her laugh, creating an unlikely bond. 3 days later, she sat in a cozy cafe, sharing the story of that unexpected kindness with her friend. The warmth of the cafe wrapped around her like a comforting blanket, and the coffee steamed between them. She spoke with excitement, her eyes shining as she described how a stranger had taken time to help her. The young man, lost in his own world, walked through a nearby street, the weight of his small act lingering in his mind, unknowingly connecting their paths once more. "I'm trying to get here," she said, "but I must have taken the wrong bus." He looked at the address. It was on the other side of town, complicated out of the way, but he didn't rush. He didn't shrug. He pulled out his phone, explained step by step how she could get there. The right bus, where to stop, which turn to take. She listened closely, asked twice. He didn't mind repeating himself. When they were done, she smiled. It was small, but it reached her eyes. "Thank you," she said. "You didn't just give me directions. You reminded me people still care." He nodded, smiled back and walked away. He didn't even ask her name. Just a stranger, helping a stranger. Nothing more. Until 3 days later. In the days that followed, he often thought of her, wondering what had happened after that brief encounter. The young man replayed their conversation in his mind, recalling her weary eyes and how her spirit seemed to brighten with his words. He felt a strange connection to her, an invisible thread that tied their lives together, if only for a moment. Each day he walked the same route, hoping to catch a glimpse of the woman he had inadvertently helped. Little did he know the simple act of kindness he offered had planted a seed of hope in her heart, reminding her that compassion still existed in the world. His name was on the news, not for something he did, but for something he didn't expect. The headline was quiet, "Elderly woman found unconscious by roadside, saved by a note in her pocket." She had collapsed from exhaustion just a few blocks away from that address, and in her coat pocket, folded carefully, was a note. It had his name. No last name, just the one she'd asked for when they parted. And beneath it, in shaky handwriting, "To the young man who gave me directions, you reminded me why I shouldn't give up. Thank you for your kindness. I wanted to find home again. I almost did." They took her to the hospital. She recovered slowly. He never saw her again. But that note traveled further than any directions ever could. She wasn't just lost on the street, she was lost inside herself. And all it took was someone who didn't walk past her pain, someone who didn't treat her confusion as an inconvenience. Just a moment, just kindness, just enough hope to keep her going a little longer. Because sometimes the smallest gesture, the kind you almost forget the moment it happens, is the exact moment someone else remembers for the rest of their life. With each passing moment, the warmth of the sun begins to seep into her heart, slowly melting away the ice of her solitude. The stranger's kind demeanor sparks a flicker of connection, igniting a glimmer of hope that had long been buried beneath layers of uncertainty. In that simple exchange, the noise of the world fades away, leaving just the two of them sharing an unspoken understanding. And as she takes a sip of the warm coffee offered to her, she realizes that sometimes all it takes is one person to help you find your way back to yourself.